Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paige Show. Today is just a quick reminder of what have you done differently. So I like to check in, and every day, at some point in the day, I'll have a check-in for about 5 seconds. It's about all it takes to ask it out loud or in your head. What have I done differently today? And it's something that I started a long time ago. I don't even know why, actually. If I really pull from memory, I think it was a conversation that my partner and I had about, when we were going through some really trying times, building businesses, building a family, getting to know each other. We kind of did it all at the same time. There was a lot of trial and error with that. And there was a thing we came up with where we're like, we're just going to get better each day. We're getting a little better each day. And then each day was a month and a year and, so forth. So I think it started with that. So I kind of just added it to that, where I would check in every day and say, what have I done differently today? And it doesn't have to be something grand, I found, to feel like it shifted the energy in my life. I literally hate, I don't know that there's a stronger word for it, so I'm going to use that. I tell my kids not to hate, right? Here I go, using the word. But I literally hate feeling stagnant. If there's anything I could say I hate. Everything in my body, soul, spirit, all of the above, physical, body, soul, spirit. I hate feeling stagnant. Everything in me rebels against that. I have done some crazy things in my life. I have uprooted my life numerous times. Crazy, extravagant, on a whim choices of doing things. I know, not only because people have said it to me, but because I just know that they have thought it as well, that this lady is crazy. I think I was told one time by a boss that I was like a tornado. I was like, thanks, like you come in and you can just bring in this powerful, forceful energy. You can totally mess up a place, but the difference is you mess it up for good. Like you cause all this, what we think is destruction, but you just bring in all of this crazy change. And then if we start to clean it up after you've been here, then we can see all the good that you brought. So needless to say, I was definitely at that job for that reason, and I didn't stay once my job was done there. Symbolically was done and actually done. So that stayed with me for years, though, is that before having a grasp on that, being able to hear somebody say that to you and not just be like, well, you're a jerk, if you could really sit with criticism, things that come across like that, you can actually take some beautiful things from it. What that did for me was to start saying to myself, okay, well, I have this great ability to bring change. What if I did that in a less destructive way, a more calm way? Would that still have the same effect? Now, in some cases it does, in some it doesn't. I'm a pretty fiery, energetic person anyway, and I don't plan on changing that. So there's times where you'll still get that, based on your role in the story. But overall, through the years, I think it's a natural progression to calm down a little bit as you age. Maybe you just don't have the energy, period. I'm starting to think that these days. But I have definitely evolved in that, where I can pause a little bit more. I can think a little bit more about things, and maybe I don't do things as irrational anymore. But at the core of who I am, I still will always follow my intuition. As crazy as it may seem on the outside, that's what I will always trust and honor first. And so where this has led me is down the path of just understanding the importance of evolving, that you've got to really continue to go forward and not backwards. And in order to do that, you need to have some kind of, what's the word for that? You have to be held accountable for it. Okay. And if nobody is there to do it for you, you have to do it for yourself. And so the quick little check-in that I do on, like, what have I done differently today, helps me check in on, Am I still moving forward? Am I still evolving? Am I doing something different today that would allow me not to feel stagnant tomorrow and want to come in like a tornado and destroy everything? Okay, it's very important that I figured out. And so it doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't mean like I didn't do anything yesterday and today I'm going to build a corporation. Let's be real here. Everybody's story is different. Everybody has different goals and aspirations. Overall, being a good human should be part of that, right? So if we do nothing about goals and aspirations of how we have improved our lives, it's looking inward. If you slept all day yesterday and you felt a depressed, hot mess, did you actually get out of bed today and take a shower? Or, not to that extreme, if you slept 10 hours yesterday, did you only sleep 7 today, and then you were able to function a little bit more? That's the worst case scenario of how it can feel sometimes when you're in this, stuck in this mud mentality. So every day, if you have a way to check in and say, what did I do different today? It can give you a positive affirmation that you're moving forward. It can show you that there is light, there is something to look forward to and to move towards, instead of just feeling like a failure all the time, or feeling like you're not good enough because you're not doing anything grand with your life, or this is just how my life always is, this is how every day is. Well, make it different. Eat something different for breakfast. Skip breakfast and have a bigger lunch. Do something different to shift your routine on the things that you can control, on the things that you can have a say in. Start to look at that and say, what did I do different? And if it was nothing, in that moment, do something different, right? Leave for an appointment or leave for work at a different time, so you're mixing up your routine. Take a different way home, right? Anything to shift your mental and your spiritual being from doing the same thing. We really go on autopilot. Some of us have such, and I've been there. I'm still there in some ways, but I've really been there when I was out in the actual workforce and sticking to a schedule with patients doing dental hygiene. You had to be at work at a certain time, and the meeting would start every day, and your first patient's at this time, and every patient after it's at this time, lunch is at this time. And it's so, you can hear it in my voice, it was so mundane. It was what we all have to do in some sort of way. We have to provide and work to live in this world for the most part. So we do it. And we get an autopilot for years and years, and then we wonder why we're angry, and we hate the world, and we hate our job, and we're jumping from job to job because every job is somebody else is there causing a problem. It's probably not just them. I had to look at myself and recognize that and admit to that too. When you're feeling that way, it's almost always you. Okay? You definitely have a part in it, at least. And I got sick of feeling that way. And so in the search for really small ways to show evolvement in the times that I couldn't do something big or grand, I started that each day. So I encourage you to start that. Start asking yourself, what did you do differently today? And if it was nothing at that point, get up and do something different immediately. Again, in your physical routine or in your spiritual practice, try something new in life. Do something different. Try a different food. Take your shower at a different time. Wear a different color shirt than what you would normally wear. Have fun with it and play, because it really is important to enjoy this human experience. I know we look forward to what we think might be better always. We always are thinking next year is going to be better. If I had this, it would be better. But honestly, something as simple as just acknowledging each day that you could do something different makes everything feel better in the now. And if things can feel a little better in the now, it gives you the stamina to keep going forward to the future stuff. And then when you get there, it has given you this enjoyment along the way where you're not exhausted, worn out, or just quite frankly pissed off. So that by the time you have arrived, if we ever really arrive, you're too worn down to care, you know? Nobody wants that. I know Spirit doesn't want that. It's not what God wants for us. Whatever it is that your background is in, that's not what life should be about. And so take control of the things that you can, starting with today. What have I done differently today? And if you have an answer to that, give yourself a big hug and look forward to the thing you're going to do different tomorrow. If you don't have an answer for that, do something right now. When this podcast is over, step up into something new. You know, do something different right there in that moment, and start to see that change your whole life, change your whole perception of life. And it all just goes together into this big, beautiful plan for what is for you, that's waiting for you just to recognize that it's there. Until we do it again, take care of yourself.